Welcome to the Halloween edition of Tucson Tuesday. I finally won that. I am America, and let's get into it.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Locked On Coyotes, number one daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes. On this very spooky Halloween Tucson Tuesday edition, I'm your host, Robyn Leonio, aka Wednesday Adams for today. That's Matthew Jacobson.
I'm America.
We want to thank everyone for making this show your first listen every day. We are free and available everywhere you get your podcasts, including on YouTube, the SiriusXM radio app, and ad-free on Amazon Music. We got a great show today, Matthew. We're going to talk about Tucson Roadrunners, who have been, after a pretty decent start, just not so hot.
Yeah, no, because they've dropped after starting off 2-0. That 2-0 feeling, they have gone 1-3. So they've gone 1-3 since.
I mean, you're going to expect that out of a team that's, it's like younger, right? Still.
Nope. I don't. I expect better. I expect better from these boys.
Yeah. All right.
Because like think about it. Like this is a team that started out well. You got Dylan Guenther, you got Josh Doan, you got some actual good talent. Like I demand better.
Demand better. Wow.
Okay.
Demand better. I see. I see what you. But no, I mean, like you're right though. This team should be better, based off of just the sheer talent on paper. I feel like I said, I feel like the youth has something to say with it. But then again, it's the AHL. It's all youth. So
it's all youth and burners. It's literally they're averaging 1 goal a game. They were shut out, scored 2, and then scored 1 in back-to-back games against Bakersfield. No, this is a bad stretch to end the month, and it happens every year. You start out hot. Normally, you get a little longer of the hot streak before.
Yeah, normally they'll start like. Normally the Roadrunners will start like 5-0, 6-0, like even like 10-0,
5-1, something like that.
5-1,
well,
4-1-1, or so whatever it is,
Let's see, 2, 3, yeah, they're 3-3-0, and the games they lost, all 3 games they lost by at least 3.
And especially to the teams that it was against, right? Like.
Well, okay, so Coachella Valley, like it's fine.
Coachella Valley is a good team.
But Bakersfield?
Coachella Valley is the what do you call it? They're the reigning Western Conference champions. They were 1 goal away from the Calder Cup. So you give them that credit. Bakersfield is mid. San Diego, is mid.
But they beat San Diego 2-1. They at least got that one.
Yeah, but still,
the Condors have only beat the Roadrunners in the rain. They got blown out by the Henderson Silver Knights. So as soon as they play a real team, they die. Sorry, and they beat Coachella Valley by 1. I was looking a little too low on the schedule. So they're like good record-wise, but they're also like they are in Edmonton's system, and Edmonton is garbage. Or should I say
right now,
they're big trash.
I mean, if you see the way the Edmonton Oilers are right now, yeah, it is bad. And you would think because of that they would keep their prospects down in Bakersfield and just let the Condors cook a little bit, but even then.
Anyway, do you want me to give you the summary on all 3 of these games so that we can go over the players' performances after the break?
Let's hear it.
All right. So here's the summary. The first game, October 21st, is at home, and 4-0 finish. Shane Wright, John Hayden, former Coyote John Hayden, Cale Fleury all score. Not a whole lot to get into deep with that. Then on the 24th, on a Tuesday, they're at home against the San Diego Gulls. You got goals by Hunter Drew from Kellerman and Comfort, and Dylan Guenther from Nate Smith and Milos Kellerman. 2-1 finish. They do edge out the win there. Then they host Bakersfield in back-to-back games on the 27th and 28th. And minus Donor getting a power play goal in the first game, and then it was Yannick getting a power play goal from Guenther and Smith in the second game. It was 5-1 and 4-1. Or the finals. Reverse them. 4-1 then 5-1. But not pretty. You dropped 3 out of 4, and every one of those games you lost by at least 3.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want, especially out of a Roadrunners team that at the beginning of the year, before the season, we were touting, like I said, we were touting extremely high. We were like, this team is going to have an extremely hot start. This team is going to just absolutely kill it. But instead, they just, they kind of fell flat pretty quickly. And again, it's way too early in the season. So, yeah, might be we overreacting a little bit. But that's part of the job, Matthew. That's part of what we do here at Locked On.
I overreact because I care. I overreact also because I'm still bitter about the Kings loss and Game 1 of the World Series. I need, and also the ASU blowing like a 4-1 lead to lose 5-4. I think both ASU and the Coyotes lost 5-4 the same night, blowing the same lead. Like, I'm going to take it out on the Roadrunners. I'm going to stomp on those birds' necks right now.
Are we sure it's because you just hate Tucson?
I actually really like the Roadrunners. I despise Tucson, but I really like the Roadrunners.
That's what I'm saying.
If I'm going
you
to
just
take
hate
my aggression out, it's going to be on the Tucson team. Stomp on their neck.
As someone that's covered the team for, like I said, for 6-7 years, like, I've seen it all. So based off this kind of start, I guess what for me, it's less of a concern than it is to you, because I'm just like, yeah, I know what this is like. This is typical Tucson for you. Yeah, they've had years where they start really hot. They've had years where there's just like, but it's just the way the team is. Luckily, the Roadrunners have a really good next couple months, and then they have a really good middle of the year, even through the Gem Show road trip, and then they'll just stumble and barely make it into the playoffs. That's usually how it goes, right?
All I am gonna say is that Colin Tyson got a game. So at least Colin Tyson's back in the lineup. I'm assuming that's after they lose Yannick and and Sanford for a game or two apiece. Sanford's been up with the team. Yannick's been up and down. After the break, I want to get into player stats and hot and cold starts. I think we have a couple hot takes coming up here.
And we'll do that right after we hear from our sponsors.
FanDuel. So score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get into the action. The app is so easy to use, a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Uh-oh, we're all glitching. There we go.
All right.
It's not even Wednesday, my dudes.
It's like, what's happening? All right, let's get to the player. Let's get to the some of the player performances. I'm glad.
Yeah, let's get to the hot starts.
I'm glad that Dylan Guenther is having a good start. I'll give it that. 5 points in 6 games. I'm glad he's doing that.
Yeah, 2 goals, 3 assists in 5 games. Only a -3. Only been to the penalty box a couple of times. His point per game is 0.83. He's playing really well. And minus Jan Yannick, he has the highest on the team. Looking down at it, and he's just it took him a couple games to get going. I remember he was quiet for the first 2 games, but after after being a little quiet, he woke right up, embraced that top line role, and that's what you want to see out of Dylan Guenther, because when the time comes, I guarantee that when the next top 6 player gets injured, he'll be the one that gets a look if he keeps playing like this.
Oh, absolutely. And we mentioned it before too. I think a reason why Guenther hasn't gotten the call up yet is because they're taking a look at what he's doing in Tucson. They want to give him enough reps in Tucson, enough games. I'd say at least like 10, 15 games to get comfortable with the Arizona system before bringing him back up.
Yeah, that makes sense. And honestly, just keep ticking him off more and more. So when he comes up, he gets like 20 goals in 40 games.
Yeah. As long as he's not another former prospect who will immediately after getting sent back down throws a hissy fit.
I don't know who you're talking about, Robyn. Do you
care
to explain and elaborate?
You don't know who I'm talking about.
No, I don't. I have no idea.
It's a former goaltender now for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh, we're talking about Aiden Hill?
Yes.
The name's been ruined for me. It's my nephew's name. Yeah, my nephew's name is Hill. Anyway. So another player, Jan Yannick. This is exactly how you respond from a contract bat. 4 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. I think he got the 1 game in the NHL. He's at least been called up and called back down. That's how I want you to respond, because it makes it really hard to send a message to your teammates, like a negative message to your teammates, if you come right back and you're scoring and you're immediately productive, you're immediately someone that is to be relied upon. I think to whatever degree that off-season spat is going to benefit his career. So good job, Jan. Can't wait to see where you get traded at the deadline.
I mean, you're right. I think based off what we saw in the off season, that's something that's kind of bound to happen. Mm-hmm. But it's good for the Coyotes in a sense because his value is only going to go up. Are the Coyotes still going to get a whole lot for him? No. But his value is still going to
get something, and he'll probably get a better opportunity with a team that might be competing that can use the depth. So he's helping himself too, and good for him. Seriously, can't wait for that 3rd round pick.
Hey, that's still a pretty decent pick. I'll take it.
Yeah, even though it'll probably be a little bit lower. Milos Kelemen had a 2-assist night the other night, bringing his point total to 3 points in 6 games. He's at a half point per game. He's AHLer, adding a little bit of the depth. Nate Smith in 5 games has 3 assists. His point per game is at .60. Better start than last year. I would like to see the goals start to come. And then 2 more players that are off to decent starts. You have Josh Doan, 2 goals in 6 games. I'd like the assist to rack up a little more, but at the very least, he is scoring goals. And Hunter Drew has only played 2 games and has a goal in those 2 games, so that's a .50. Small sample size, but that's one of the few AHL-specific contracts. It's, I think, Kelemen, Zuber, and it wasn't Comfort. It was Leonard? And Tyson. There's a few AHL-specific contracts, and he was one of them.
Yeah, you gotta love. I'm trying to think. What is it? Honestly, I drew a blank of what exactly I was gonna say. See, this is what happens. My brain just
when Robyn hasn't had her coffee in the morning.
Yes, exactly. It's when I haven't had enough coffee.
Are we ready to do some roasting?
Let's do that.
I'm ready for some roasting. There's a couple of players that are off to terrible starts.
Let's do that though after a quick word. And today's episode is brought to you by Sleeper. A new NHL season brings all sorts of possibilities. Heck, once Logan Cooley breaks his first goal barrier, maybe he scores, all of a sudden 50 for the year. Who the frick knows? And you could win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is our #1 choice for daily fantasy sports and especially daily fantasy hockey. Because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. You can pick different players that you want to win for your 100 times money. You could do it alongside your friends, and not just for hockey, but for NFL, NBA, MLB, and even college football. You can all do that and make entries in under a minute. All you have to do is pick whether or not you want whatever player you want to record either more or less on their goals, assists, plus, minus, or more. And once again, to win 100 times your bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats in order to get that. So you heard me, Coyotes fans, 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nail your picks so you can start winning big. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you can win up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That $100 match with code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability. Let's get
Can I
to that
ask a
roast.
generic question?
What?
Why is Ben McCartney in his photo wearing a Philadelphia Flyers jersey? He was drafted by the Coyotes and has only played in the Coyotes system. Can someone explain that to me? That's a Flyers jersey. I put it up. That's a Flyers jersey he's wearing.
That I don't know.
I'm not wrong. So many questions. I want to start off with him. All right, because this is a player that it kind of frustrates me. So I want to pull up his previous stats because this is a kid that kind of replaces Tyler Steenbergen. Same role, but a little better at scoring. And he has the A on his Twitter this year. And his last 2 seasons at Tucson in 2021-22, 57 games, 18 goals, 17 assists, 35 points. Last year, in just 12 fewer games, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points, he needed that big bounce back. And so far through 5 games, he has nothing. I don't know what his role right now is supposed to be, but it confuses me because he should be kind of like a Lawson Krause archetype. Maybe not quite as talented goal scoring wise, but I would expect him to score a little more or at least get something on the board 5 games in.
Yeah, you would think so, right? I think that's Ben McCartney. I know it has been interest, like has been that way. I'm trying to think who else.
He's not even in penalty trouble. He has 2 penalty minutes all season. So, like, he's not fighting. He's not doing the big physical. Like, he might hit, but he's not fighting. -5 plus minus 9 shots so far. So he's shooting the puck, but is it just bad luck? Is he getting terrible shots? Is he one of those Lawson Krause types where it's going to take him a while to score? When he scores in bunches? Is that what we're looking at?
I mean, maybe it's just that he falls like deep down the depth chart. Not getting enough minutes. The problem with the AHL stats website is you cannot see his average time on ice. It will not show that.
But I think I can look up their lineups because they always post the lineups before all the games. Let's see. Oh, that's an old lineup, Cross. Liam Kirk was still on the team. That sucks. I miss Liam Kirk anyway.
Right.
But I have no idea what to expect of him, and now I really want to start watching as much Tucson as I can just to figure out. Because when you have 9 shots in 5 games, that means he's shooting. He's shooting almost a couple times a game. Where's he getting the shots from? Is it on special teams? Is it 5v5? Is he shooting from the outside? Is he going in deep? Is he just bad bounces? Because I expect more from Ben. I know he has the potential to be a solid AHL player, and 5 games in, I'm just disappointed this season so far.
I mean, that's probably what it is. And like I said, like we were saying earlier, it's probably an overreact, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe the next 5 games he plays better.
Maybe. Although he did technically miss one game, so maybe he was injured. And it's notoriously difficult to get injury information out of the AHL.
Yeah, because they don't give it. They like unless you're there, right? Because I remember when I was
or getting the emails.
Yeah, when I was one of the main beat reporters covering the Tucson Roadrunners, I would constantly get updated information. I'm at the games. We notice things, right? We watch them. We watch all the little things happen. So when we see players not there, we kind of raise questions. Things get brought up, and we find out.
I got the answer. He was called up on Saturday, and Jan Unique was put back in the minors. So he missed out on a game for literally like no reason because the Coyotes didn't use him. He didn't play that
the
game
Coyotes,
at the NHL level.
Coyotes just used him to be an extra. That's it, an extra skater.
Yeah, but the thing that bothers me is when it comes to the NHL team grabbing a guy just to be an extra skater, and it's bothered me for years, especially whenever Tucson was in playoff runs and the Coyotes were no longer in playoff contention. It's okay, I get it. You need the extra body. But if you think there is a higher than 80% chance you will not use them, keep the useful guy down in Tucson to play and like call up anybody else. Call up a depth guy. Call up anyone else, just an extra body. Don't waste the good players that you need to play. Like the Coyotes, I think they technically signed Kirkland. Call up Kirkland. If you're not going to need the body, that's fine. Just call him up, have him be the healthy scratch, and McCartney, Unique, and all them can still keep playing, because when you pull the guys that are playing well out of the lineup, even for a game or two, it shows. And I know other players need to step up as well, but it's really hard when you are practicing these set lines. You're practicing this on your power play, this on your penalty kill, this for 4-on-3 opportunities, this for an odd man rush, and then let's just say it's Jan Unique that's usually on the power play. He's just gone. Well, who's the player that's sliding in? Well, do you take off the power play 2 unit and ruin their cohesion, or do you throw in another random player and still ruin the cohesion on that power play 1? I don't like it. If you do not need the player, don't call them up. If you need them, different story. When Jason Zucker got hurt, if you're like, okay, Dylan Guenther slides right in, different story, call up Guenther, put him in the lineup. But if you're just calling them up for an extra body, leave the AHL player down and just grab Kirkland. Grab someone random that they're not going to need as much, because those young players need as much reps as possible. The career AHLers, who cares? Like, if they miss out on a game or two, they're still getting paid. Hell, they get slightly more when they're on the NHL roster, so give them a free little pay bump for a day or two.
That's fair. We do only have a few more minutes left before I want to close off on this episode, Matthew. So let's just really quick kind of just take a look ahead. What they got? What's coming up?
I wanted to briefly. There are 3 defensemen that I will be disappointed in. And I will get it done in like 60 seconds. So, all right. All have 6 games played, 0 points, all are negative. Michael Kesselring, -2 with 11 penalty minutes. Vladislav Kolyachonok is a -3, and Victor Soderstrom's a -4. But the shot totals. Kesselring has 8 shots, Kolyachonok has 6, Soderstrom has 10. Something has to give. And when these defensemen, primarily Kesselring and Soderstrom, I know Kolyachonok plays a lot of offense as well, but those big right shot defensemen tend to be the ones that take a lot of clappers from the point. When you have Kesselring and Soderstrom shooting that often and they haven't recorded a single point, I'm not sure if it has to do with the net front work or if they're just missing a lot and it happens to deflect off of someone to hit the goalie.
Could be it.
Because Soderstrom having no points in 6 games, I need him to get more consistent. I need that kid to play better, because I know this for a fact, where he was drafted, how many years he's been developing, and just common sense. If he doesn't pick it up, he won't be in this organization much longer. And no one is in my ear saying that. That's just common sense, because he was 11th overall, and he's been developing for like 4 years, 5 years.
Fair. Yeah. No, you're right. I think Soderstrom definitely needs to kind of pick up, especially at his age and at the pace of development. we've been saying all along, defensemen take longer to develop.
Mhm.
But if there's, if we're seeing not as much growth, there is cause for concern. So we'll have to see. And again, it's early in the season, so it's only 6 games, but well, 6 games out of a 76 game season. So there's 70 more games to go in the AHL.
I think it's 72 because they expanded it, like you were mentioning, after they added more teams. But but AHL is weird. Pacific Division is weird. I'm not going to think too deep into it, but it's just I want to see. Like, it's a good sign that he's shooting as much as he is. All right, that tells me the effort is there. The lack of any at least secondary assists is a little concerning this early on in the season, because at least 1 or 2 I feel like shouldn't be unreasonable to ask for at the AHL level out of him. So it's just I am a little frustrated and hoping that he, whatever it is, bounces through it, and then the bounces start going his way, because he's shooting, Kesselring's shooting. It just kind of sucks that I thought at least one of those two should have been pushing for an NHL job, but they brought in a couple extra defensemen to not force it, and I'm a little disappointed with the offensive productions early in the season, or lack thereof.
Fair enough. Let's really quick take a look ahead for the Tucson Roadrunners. They have 2 home games this weekend, hosting the Chicago Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those games are always interesting, no matter what, when it's between Tucson and Chicago. So,
give me your perspective on this, because they don't play Chicago very often, to my knowledge. It's like a couple times a year, isn't it?
It is only a couple times. Well, yeah, it's only a couple times a year because it's cross divisional rather, or interdivisional rather than within the same division. It's like these teams. I feel like it's not necessarily like a rivalry, but it's just like one of those kind of matchups when every single time that I've at least watched a Tucson versus Chicago game, it either ends up in an intense battle on the ice, like a super defensive but exciting game to watch, or on the complete other side where it's like a freaking 6-5 game going into a shootout.
I think Tucson needs to buckle down for these, because Chicago's 1-3-1 and Tucson is 3-3. Sorry, 1-3-1-1. Tucson's 3-3. They kind of need to buckle down and get both these wins and get back on track.
Yeah, it is interesting, by the way, as a reminder to everyone, the Chicago Wolves are a different team than any of the previous ones I watched, mainly because they are once again an independent AHL team, so they have no NHL affiliate.
Is it not kind of funny how they threw that big fit? They want to be independent, and they kind of suck to come out the gate.
It's fun. What's funny though is the fact that over the last couple, they've traded what their affiliate was for a while. I mean, essentially they were just a filler. They were a filler affiliate for the Vegas Golden Knights before Henderson got their team.
They were also involved with Carolina and 2 others, weren't they? Before the Checkers?
Yeah. Well, the Checkers were still a thing, but for some reason, so I think the Hurricanes took the Wolves because the Kraken took the Checkers for some reason. It was a really interesting, I don't know.
Joey DeFleur played for the Checkers, didn't he, for a year?
Yes. It was a really interesting. It was what is going on?
I don't understand the AHL.
The AHL is weird. The ECHL is even stranger.
Yeah, but Charlotte Checkers 228-925. I don't get. Go ahead and do the outro. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand the AHL as hard as I try.
All right. Well, that's it for today's episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. If you like what you heard, don't forget to leave a review, comment, subscribe if you have yet to already. We're available everywhere you get your podcast, including on YouTube, the SiriusXM radio app, and ad-free on Amazon Music. Yes, Matthew, I see Locked On Cooley.
Locked On Cooley.
Don't forget to also check out your second listen of the day, as it's the World Series going on. So check out Locked On Diamondbacks to hear everything Arizona Diamondbacks. And don't forget to interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, and on X at LO_Coyotes. I'm personally on X at Robyn_Leonu. Matthew Jacobson deleted his X account. Now he's on Threads, which is his profile is AZ_sports_guy. You're making it hard for me, Matthew, having to go through all that.
Too bad. X shouldn't have had me authenticate 4 times in 48 hours and then made me do it again after the D-backs blew a lead. That's on them.
Anyways, interact with us. Ask a question you might have. We might interact right back. We're on a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys staying safe out there. Hope you guys staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.